Hey everyone, it's Mark Harris from the Adventure Enablers here with our pre-race brief for our Shenandoah Adventure Race weekend. Super excited about the weekend. We have got about 400 people coming out, about 185 teams across the weekend. We have on Saturday our Aqua Blaze, Epic 24-hour race, Strong 12-hour race, and then on Sunday we have our Tenderfoot Family and Adventure Class race. So thank you everyone who's coming out to join us this weekend. We'll be hosting it out of Bentonville, Virginia, out of Downriver Canoe Company. Thank you to John and his team at Downriver for hosting us. It's an awesome location for this particular race. And also Shenandoah State Park. These events, the Aqua Blaze and the Tenderfoot, are both part of the Virginia State Parks Adventure Series. So if you're racing in those two races, you'll be getting points for that. And once again, Shenandoah State Park, a great park for us to be hosting this event. Also, thanks to all our volunteers and staff who are going to be coming out for the weekend. Could not put this race on without those guys, so we really appreciate it. And also our sponsors. A lot of our prizes this weekend are going to come from those guys, and that includes Good To Go bars, USWE, Mountain Khakis. We love Mountain Khakis, wear them all the time. USARA and their sponsors. The adventure races are all part of the USARA point series. And the Epic is a qualifier, so that's pretty important for those guys coming to get points and qualify for that. Want to thank River and Peak Outfitters. Those guys are new here in Front Royal. They just opened up a month ago or so. They are one of our big sponsors and providing prizes. Go and check out those guys. John and Kristen, they're staying open on Friday night. You'll be able to go and swing by their store, check out lots of their cool gear, and say hi to them and welcome them to the neighborhood. I want to thank Performance Sport and Spine. They're going to be on site helping us with any med needs that come up. And yeah, so those are our sponsors, and we want to thank everyone who's supporting this particular race. Also, in addition to River and Peak Outfitter, the Jake's Bike Shack is located here in Front Royal. He will be open for anyone who has any biking needs to be taken care of. So, I've already mentioned Good To Go. Margot is waving stuff at me over there. After this video, we're going to do 4 breakout videos for each particular event, and we're really just going to go over the rules of travel and some of the maps that we'll be releasing along with this video. And they'll all be coming out at Friday at noon to give you a chance to look over what's going to be happening for the weekend. Weather looks awesome. So Saturday we're looking at 80s for the high, and then lows around 60s, so pretty nice for you guys who are racing overnight. And then Sunday, right now, hopefully it's moving out. We're looking at about 50% chance of rain. Still be relatively warm within at the 70s and in the 50s. River temperature still chilly. It's hovering around 50 degrees right now. That does change quite dramatically depending on the weather. Some of you hopefully won't get wet at all. Some of you will definitely get wet. So we'll talk about some of that a little bit later on. I'll go over the schedule for each individual race. All this information that I'm also talking about is in all on your event webpage. So check out all that information, print that out, and it's also in our race email that came out on Tuesday. So where to go, what time to be there, all that information is out there. Look it up online and print it out. So as you arrive on Saturday or Sunday for the parking, there's just basically 2 different areas that will be parking people. For people who are doing the Epic, you need to park on the parking lot that's opposite from Downriver Canoe Company. So as you come down Indian Hollow Road, you'll get towards the bottom, and there's a big parking lot on the left-hand side. We'll have it signposted, parking Epic. Park in there. That is where you're going to have your vehicles. That's also where you're going to transition out of. So that's super nice. You'll have your vehicles to stage out of, and as we start to look at the course a little bit later on in your particular video, you'll see why that's beneficial. Everyone else, you'll be going and parking in Downriver Canoe Company's big lot, and we'll have parking for you guys to go, tell you where to go over there. So for adventure racing, that's what you guys are coming out to do this weekend. The goal is to collect as many points as you can in the prescribed order on the rules of travel, whether that's trekking, biking, or running. Trekking, biking, running, or paddling, and we give you a map and the rules to go and find those points. The most points collected in the fastest amount of time is the winner. We do have cutoffs for all our particular events, and for every minute that you are late past your cutoff point, you will be losing 1 point. So that's pretty important as far as time management goes and getting back on time. So what does our checkpoints look like? So when you're out on the course, this is what you're looking for. These are our flags. These are every single checkpoint. Some of our flags are reflective on the flag, because you'll be out there trying to find them at night, some of you. Others have a little reflective disc on the top. So you shine a light on these, you should be able to see them at night. They are very fluorescent. You can definitely see them during daylight. We tend not to hide any of our checkpoints. If you're in the right area, you will find checkpoints there. We don't hide them. At each checkpoint, you'll also find a little control. This is how we know where you've been and what time and what order you went to all the controls, because you will also be carrying an e-punch, which will look like this or this. And when you get to your particular control, you'll go ahead, stick your e-punch into the hole, makes a little beeping noise. If you have a little card, you put it on the little white disc, makes a beeping noise, and we know you're there. And so when you arrive, or before you start your event, we'll have you come over to our timing area, and we will clear and download and check you guys in with your little e-punches, so you'll have a chance to use those guys. So for this race, all of our controls are marked with a label, and because there's multiple races going on all at once, there may be some labels that are labeled for something that doesn't make any sense to you on your particular event, but there should be a tag on there that refers to your event, or a number that's in your rules of travel, or a number on your map that makes sense when you get to all of these controls. So don't get confused if you get to a control and it has some weird other numbers on it. Now, there are controls out there that you may not need to go and visit, and if you do visit them and you punch them and you're not supposed to be at them, we will penalize you for that as well, because in theory you're supposed to know where you are at all times. So bear that in mind, that if you do get to a control and it says something on it and it has nothing to do with you at all, it's probably not where you should be and you shouldn't punch on it. Also for Aquablaze, you guys are on a straight course. We've got a map for you. All your turns are marked with these checkpoints. You'll also punch at them so we know that you've completed the full course. You'll also be carrying one of our trackers. They look like this. That will be taped to your shoulder strap here on your pack, or if you have a pocket in your pack, we will put it on there. We need to make sure it's secure. These will track your progress throughout the race live. We'll have a screen up down at Downriver, and you've already been sent a link that you can share that with your friends and family. It's already up with a route on it, and it will show you exactly where you're going and what you're doing, and people will be able to follow you as you complete your fun day of adventure. So that's how we're going to track and do everything. Gear options, make sure you check your mandatory gear list. Like I said, Ribbon Peak Outfitters, they will be open if you're missing anything. Everything that you need is on that list, so make sure you bring it. We will be doing some spot checks out in the course to make sure you have your equipment. For us, the most important stuff is safety-wise. So helmet, whether you're on a bike, PFD, whether you're in the water, they are critical safety items that you must have with you at all times. Both the Epic and the Strong, you will be racing after it is dark, so you will need both headlamps and bike lights that will be able to work for the duration that you'll be racing in the dark. Couple of rules that are pretty important in adventure racing. Everyone must follow the rules of travel and the maps. That's staying in bounds, not driving on private property, those types of things. Getting a point in the right order, getting a point on the right, whether it's paddling, trekking or biking, you must use that mechanism of travel to get there. On all our races, all the points are optional, apart from the Aquablaze. The Aquablaze guys, you must hit all the points around the course, so that we know that you've done the full distance. And teams, the guys who are racing in teams, which is the most of you, you must all stay within 100 feet of each other all times. You must all visit every single checkpoint on the course as a team. So those are the things that we really look for, and we're pretty strong for when we're looking at how you guys are doing on the course. Strategy wise, all these races, make sure you watch the time. There are cutoffs, so there's no point in staying 3 or 4 hours after the cutoff collecting points, because you will lose them all as we drop 1 point for every minute you're late. So plan accordingly when you're on your particular routes to make sure that you get back in time. People always ask me, is the course clearable? and I say, well, how good are you? Take a look at the route, the rules of travel. It's up to you to figure out if you can clear the course or not. For our navigation this year, it gets harder and harder for each race. Tenderfoot, pretty straightforward. Everything's on trails, easy to find. Aquablaze, very easy. Great trails. Each intersection is marked with a flag for where you need to make turns. For the Epic, you're going to find some areas which are moderate to challenging navigation on some tough terrain. And for our Strong this year, you'll find the navigation gets progressively harder throughout the event. So first part of the race, very straightforward. Second part of the race, it gets a little bit more challenging. Safety, so you guys are eyes and ears out there. There's a lot of you guys. We've got about just over 400 people who are racing this weekend. So you all need to look out for each other and make sure no one's hurt out on the course. If someone needs assistance, please stop. We can always give time credits later on. It is a race, but at the end of the day, we want everyone to stay safe. My phone number is on all your rules of travel. I'm available for the entire race, so you can give me a call. The local EMS and all the area counties are aware of what we're doing, and so if you need to dial 911, they'll be able to respond to you as well. Big thing that hits a lot of people is, especially on the longer races, is eating and drinking. So make sure you hydrate and eat. The temps being in the 80s on Saturday, it will be warm, so make sure you keep rehydrating. If you stop drinking, you'll stop moving pretty quickly, so make sure you keep those under control. Any severe weather conditions that we have come in, we'll try and notify you. Shelter in place, follow lightning protocols if we have that type of weather come in. It doesn't look like we have anything like that in the forecast, so you'll be good. Just watch for things like wind, loose limbs in trees, rock scree slopes, some areas like that where you may be off trail, bad footing. Those types of things are going to get you. And if you're mountain biking, watch your speed, those types of things, and make sure you ride within your abilities. So the schedule and logistics are all online. I'm not going to run through that. Make sure you go and check the pre-race email and all the times listed on the event page. Make sure you know where you're going and what you're doing for that. And that's it. We're going to wrap up right now, and then we're going to roll over to your individual videos. So there's links coming out for that. And really what we're going to do in them is kind of review the information that's going to come out at noon, which is your rules of travel and some of your maps. So we're really looking forward to a great weekend racing with you. And have a good rest of your Friday, and we'll see you all either on Saturday or Sunday.